Hello, my name is Maria Fernanda, and I'm the host of IO Scholarship Superheroes podcast.
Easy, easy, so easy.
This podcast is only a 10-minute podcast that highlights the best kept secret of IO scholars, job recruiters, and community influencers. And most importantly, we want to provide you financial resources to go to college debt free and become financially savvy. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 2024 IO Scholarship Superhero Podcast. My name is Maria Fernanda, and I'm the host of IO Scholarship Superhero Podcast. And today I have a very special guest for 2024. Her name is Bryan, who became the first recipient of the Mashburn Environmental Scholars Internship and Scholarship. She was awarded last year $10,000 toward her academic endeavors. She's actually a graduate student of Geoscience at Florida Atlantic University, and she plans to pursue a doctorate in environmental literature. She has published amazing articles about climate change, wildfire conservation, and environmental endangerment. And actually, she also serves on a wildlife conservation organization, Board of Education, and has founded a teen environmental advocates club at her local library. She also dedicates her time to climate research as a reporter for the Invading Sea. Again, thank you so much for your time, Autumn, and you're our first guest in 2024.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. It is truly a pleasure to be here, Maria.
Thank you. And well, tell us a little bit about your STEM career path. I read some of your articles that they're outstanding in terms of how actually climate change impact more disadvantaged communities. And tell us about a little about how did you start in this path and what motivated you towards this path?
Yeah, no, of course. I did have a little bit of a non-traditional path to STEM, I would say. I studied English literature in undergrad. I always considered myself a writer and a poet, but my focus in school was on the intersectionality of cultural studies and environmentalism. I like to say I kind of specialized in environmental literature even then. And I had the great pleasure of finding my way under the wing of several amazing mentors, Dr. Balkin, Dr. Thomas, Dr. Polsky at Florida Atlantic University in the English department, as well as the Geoscience department. And they really just fostered my love for learning. I've always been, I think, an unreasonably curious person. And science was along with one of my first loves. And I like to think that environmentalism and art are inherently intertwined. And so I wanted to get into science in more of an academic way. And I didn't think it was possible for a long time. And I just started applying. I did a lot of self-teaching. I read a lot of articles. I learned. And then I submitted for applications and found people that believed in me. And here I am.
Well, it's so important to have mentor and people who believe in you. That's why when I touched base with you, I was very impressed of how you also dedicate your time to help others and to educate others in such important topics such as climate change. And what would you say that is a common myth about climate change that you want to debunk?
Sure. Well, firstly, I think I'd want to debunk anyone who likes to say that it isn't real, but that is another conversation. But really, I like to encourage people to get away from eco-doomism or climate fatalism. It's such a serious topic that we talk about, and it is so easy to think really negatively and think that it's a hopeless cause, but that doesn't do anything to help us further our efforts in climate change justice and equity and environmentalism. And so I really just encourage people to read into these and look into them and know that there are people out there fighting the same fight as you. There's a village of people pouring their time, their sweat, their tears into the cause for environmental justice. And it is a harrowing task and it's exhausting to address these things, but it's so worth it. We're fighting for a planet that has always fought for us and given to us unconditionally. So just keep reading and keep writing and keep fighting for the same cause. And I think that will help mitigate a lot of the myths that are out there about climate change.
That's amazing, because I believe, Autumn, that we have a common house that we all have to take care of. We're all on this together. It's not a separate effort. And I was wondering, what advice would you give somebody that wants to pursue your career, and probably you wish other things that probably students don't know when you began your studies. So if you can share.
Sure. Yeah, it also went into just feeling like it was hopeless for me to get into environmentalism because I didn't do that in undergrad. And so almost as a side suggestion, I would tell anyone that thinks that they can't learn more, not even change what you want to do, but just learn more, that you can. You can go to colleges and you can start taking classes, non-degree seeking, and then apply for that degree that you want to go get. And there's ways to do it. And there's ways to learn outside of your typical college campuses as well. I did a lot of that and it got me here. But I also really would just say, don't sell yourself short. Don't quit. Success is just the end to a multitude of failures. I have fallen again and again, and you can't be afraid to admit when you've fallen, because there are so many people willing to lend you a hand and rooting for you that share similar dreams. I could have never imagined the support that I received from everyone at Friends of the Everglades. They are as invested in my success as I am. They continue to be. And it is so inspiring to work with like-minded people. They want to see you succeed and they want to chaperone the next generation of inspiring environmental scholars. So try. And there's a dozen reasons not to try, between time constraints and work stress and the monster of self-doubt, but you try anyway. And it's the greatest honor when you can achieve.
Visit IO Scholarships, as we have access to thousands of STEM scholarships based on your unique ethnic background, waiting for you today. Some of them only require 2.5 GPA and no essay. Remember, the more you apply, the more chances you have to win. Apply today. I love, because my new mantra for this year is embrace your failure, because it's part of your journey.
Yeah.
When students apply for scholarships and they don't get one, there are some opportunities out there that are perfect for you, regardless of your background, your GPA. It's just believing in yourself, being intentional. And that's why I created this platform to give more opportunities for students in STEM. I had the privilege to go to college debt-free and win, scholarships to go to prestigious universities. But I want to pass along that torch to other students to really know, as you said, to believe in themselves. That is so important, that somebody mentor them and they're part of a community. And you became the first recipient of the Karen Mashburn Environmental Scholars Internship and Scholarship. So can you provide some tips on how to apply for this prestigious scholarship?
Yes, I mean, beyond what I had said, there wasn't anything necessarily special other than I wanted it and I believed in myself. And I had a lot of reasons not to do it. I have a full-time job and I'm in school, and adding an internship on top of that seemed impossible. And I didn't imagine a world where people were so willing to work with me and work with my schedule and know that I was worth it. But when you feel that in yourself, and I put all of my effort into it anyway, I put all of my heart into that essay and all of my energy into the interviews, because I wanted it and I just believed that it was something that was meant for me. And so that's what I would suggest. Just put in the work, and if you have the passion and if it's right for you, like you were saying, it will come for you, it will happen. And if it doesn't happen that time, just keep trying, apply to many scholarships, but also be active in the community. I didn't get where I am just from writing the articles. I have had so much help from so many people, and it's from meeting people and networking and being invigorated by their energy as well. So I know that's not necessarily a tactile thing that you can do or anything that you can put down on paper to make it better, but just try and see what happens.
Well, that's so important because that's the purpose of this podcast, is to inspire other students in STEM. And actually, your story again is so inspiring, and the way that you give back the community with your time and your your activism is very empowering. And which to end this episode, tell us, which is your favorite inspirational quote that you want to share with the students?
Sure. It is actually a recent favorite of mine, and it comes from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, who is the founder of Friends of the Everglades. You could tell how impacted I was by my experience with them. The quote was, "It's be a nuisance where it counts." And it just meant so much to me. And I want to bring it back to other people who inspired me. My mother is a force to be reckoned with. I learned courage from her. I learned outspokenness, and I was certainly taught to be a nuisance when it counted. And she gifted me perspective and understanding when I could easily have remained blind. And she fights every day for what is good and what's right. And for her and that initiative, I will always be thankful. And mirroring that same light are other heroes, are other inspiring women like Marjorie, who founded Friends of the Everglades, like I said, whose voices are still echoing, are still loud, are still leading the chorus. And when you feel that sense of hopelessness, just remember your voice. Remember that you can write. Remember that you're an activist. And so even if you're the only one out there shouting, even if you're the only one, it feels like you're the only one, because I promise that you're not. Be a nuisance where it counts. When it matters, make your voice heard and put up a fight. Even if the fight is for yourself, if the fight is for your application, if the fight is for doing something that will be good and just in the end and in the long run.
Oh, I love this. Very resilient. You're a very resilient lady, and your mother probably is your biggest role model. It's so important to have family members also that believe in us. So I wish I have more time, but these 10 minutes were very energizing and hopefully provide perspective for the students to apply for this prestigious scholarship. So again, thank you, Autumn. And that concludes our first 2024 episode. And a free way to support us is by subscribing, liking, and sharing the episode. And once again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you in our next episode. And don't forget the power of the 3 I's for inspiration, innovation, and invention. Thank you.
Thank you.